Okay, can the Pope fall into formal heresy?
No.
Yes, he can.
No, he cannot.
Oh,
Yes, he can.
so the Pope really preserve unity if you're having a disagreement right now?
So,
I think he
I
really
want you to
unified
pull
your
for me.
church.
Now you're gonna pull for me. You're gonna pull for me the exact canon from Vatican I that you're referring to. You're gonna pull it out right now.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna pull it out. You're gonna
out
do
this
what he
canon
says, boy.
that you perceive
No,
or
Nick, I
interpret
have
interpret
a
to mean
chastity belt,
that
don't
the
worry.
Pope cannot fall into formal heresy. Let me see.
It seems
You're
like
gonna
Rome is the
listen. You're
main
gonna
character.
Where
listen
it
to
says the
that
Pope
papal
can't fall into
knight.
formal heresy, yeah.
This
show
is
me
all
the
Greek
Pope.
Orthodox Pope. Pull it out.
It's not. This is the Catholic
What?
position. You can't fall into formal heresy.
Pull
That's
out the
true.
canon. Pull out the canon. Pull out the
Princess,
canon.
can the Pope fall into formal heresy?
No, I've been telling no for the past days.
Okay, so the Pope can't fall into formal heresy.
No, he
Okay,
can't.
so
Show me the canon from canon number 1.
Oh, okay. So
And
Abismo
we will see the context.
Abismo
We don't have to.
saying
We don't have to show this because
we do.
you're the one who has to prove he can. We don't prove he can.
No, he's making the
What?
accusation. No, he's the one asking the question. He has to pull it
Okay,
out.
so Abismo
No, but-
is saying that the Pope
Where's
can
this
fall into
canon?
formal
Where's
heresy.
this canon? I'm not gonna
Princess
let
is
you
saying the Pope
just
can't fall
loosely
into formal
reference
heresy.
Vatican I without pulling
We're
out the
about to
canons.
reference it. Just give me 1 second, dude. I'm evaluating the situation, all right?
Mhm.
Princess is
As far
saying
as I
that the
understand,
Pope can fall into formal heresy, can't fall into formal heresy, forgive me. And Abismo is saying that he can. Now, Princess, what is your reasoning for why he can't fall into formal heresy?
I think, like, if I may
We've
answer
already
that,
talked about this.
on
We've
I'll
already talked about the character of
I'll
infallibility.
answer it. I'll answer it. It's because because this
It's
would
not a
literally
universal character of infallibility.
okay. So the reason why the Pope cannot be a formal heretic is because, first of all, papal infallibility makes it so that we have unity within the church. So, for example, when there's a council, unlike the
No,
Orthodox,
papal infallibility is not the guarantor of unity.
this is not what I'm talking about. So, for example, in
Then be
councils,
careful with your
unlike
words, Princess.
well, it has to do with. Maybe if you let me finish, you would be able to see that.
Ooh.
So, as I was saying, unlike the Orthodox that have no unity because their own bishops disagree with each other, even though they say all the bishops are led by the Holy Spirit throughout the council, we have only one head that is supposed to be infallible in the council, which lead us to be united, because we don't have multiple bishops taking different positions and agreeing with the majority of the bishops. What we have is actually one pope who we know will never teach or accept something that is heretical. So
Even if
this
it
is
contradicts
why a
another
pope
pope's
cannot.
Wait, 1 second. So, Princess, I mean, has that unity really worked though? I mean, if you disagree with Abismo
Yeah.
vehemently, because Abismo doesn't believe like V2 is binding.
This is
No.
right?
I think
This
they're
is
just
a bad-
talking
this is a
past each
bad-
other. If I may say, I think there's a difference between what Abismo is saying and there's not much
Right.
of a-
I mean,
I'm sorry,
Eastern
there's not a
Orthodox.
difference because I think. Wait, hang on. I just want to say that I think the Pope can be a private heretic, but he can't be a public.
Yeah.
No.
heretic.
So
Yeah,
on
he can. That's what I'm saying.
on non-magisterial
he-
statements, the Pope
He can't teach heresy. That's true. He can't proclaim
he
a heresy
cannot
as
bind.
binding.
No. What Vatican I, what they're talking about, what they're loosely referring to is the fact that Vatican I clearly states that the Pope cannot bind the Church to formal heresy.
A heresy, exactly.
So it's in virtue of the office that he cannot. But as an individual in the external forum on non-magisterial teachings, he can fall into formal heresy.
There's never been
This
a
is
pope.
an important distinction.
In order to disprove the papacy or like Vatican or like the Roman Church, the only thing you would have to do is cite a case where the Pope publicly taught a heresy that was binding on the church.
Okay,
correct.
So,
and that has never happened in the history of the church.
That has never happened once.
What we do have is when it comes to non-magisterial teaching, we do have popes who have taught formal heresy.
Okay, yeah, so that's not true. That's a lack of
That is
understanding.
true. That's
of
Pope
material
Honorius.
heresy.
Dude, we've already talked about.
Pope
I don't know why
Honorius
you're
is
walking.
material.
Like he wrote.
You're just like seesawing at this
Pope
point.
Honorius was a material
Boethius?
heresy according to the RC position.
Yeah, he was a material heretic.
No, that's not a material heresy. They try to maintain that it's material
Well, he
heresy,
didn't
but it can't
teach
be
it. He
understood
didn't
as
teach it
anything
as
other than.
binding at this point. I think
Yeah,
you're
no.
confused.
I'm pretty sure.
So
I'm pretty
you
sure
don't.
the people who are
So
around
you
him know
don't
more
have
than
to.
you.
You don't have to teach it as binding for it to be formal heresy. It just has to
Material
be in the
heresy
external
isn't
form.
binding because he's not speaking
But
publicly.
that's a
It's
Well,
binding.
you
requirement
guys
for
don't
the
understand.
Pope.
You guys don't
Well,
understand the scholastic
I
distinction
mean,
between formal and material heresy. Then it's just simple
yes,
as that.
I do.
No, once you teach it in the external form, it's a
You
formal
don't
heresy. It's
understand what you
manifest
don't
heresy.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
it means to
So,
manifest
do
the
you
heresy.
believe the
You
Pope
can
was
be
a
a
manifest
material.
heretic?
You
Do you
can
believe the
be a
Pope was a
material
manifest
heretic
heretic?
privately, right? Whether through
Was
your own
Yeah, he
private
does
opinions
believe
or
that.
judgments.
He
was the
believes
But once
that.
you start teaching this as a priest, you're basically a formal heretic. And you have cases of tribunals where both priests and bishops were excommunicated based on that criteria.
He believes Pope Francis is a heretic.
Yeah, I know. Is he a manifest heresy, Abysmal?
Yes, he is a manifest heretic.
What
no,
if
he's not.
you're not even
What
Catholic?
He
Like you're
is.
not even Catholic.
What is he
It's
Yeah,
talking
pretty
you
about?
clear as
Really
day.
preserve the
you as
unity,
a
right, guys? I
layperson
mean,
in
this
the
really
Catholic
works.
Church
This
can't say
system
that.
is
No,
rigorous.
we actually can because it's in regards to
No, you can't.
non-magisterial teaching. It's in
No, you
regards to
can't.
magisterial. No, well, for you in Eastern Orthodox, Nick, you want to put us in that box because you loosely reference Vatican I to support this like wild conception that the character of papal infallibility for
Yeah, you're
Catholics
definitely
has
right
to
there.
apply and appeal to everything that the Pope says, and that's just simply not true. Papal infallibility is defined in a very limited context, but I understand for your diorite
Not as
position,
limited
you
as
have
you
to
think.
hold to this very obtuse and obstinate understanding of both papal infallibility and the ecclesiology of the church. But when you look at your own ecclesiology of like Eastern Orthodox, it's a fucking mess.
Yeah, it's a
So you
mess. I
have
don't like it.
there's no other
I
alternative.
understand you don't
It's
like
a
it.
Tina principle. There is no other alternative.
You're saying that
hmm
the Pope is a heretic, Abysmal?
Yes, I mean popes can be
Explain that. How?
manifest heretics.
What?
It's called mental
like,
gymnastics.
I don't understand why you're saying that when a lot of
So
Catholics don't agree with you.
well, because they may be misunderstood as well. So there's a historical case, right,
Huh?
that is usually brought up, right? And Bellarmine brings it up. There's many church
Oh my
theologians that
God,
have actually brought up the case of Honorius. It's pretty notorious.
Lord,
So
he was a material heretic. Everyone agrees on that.
Abysmal, are you mad that I muted you?
Honorius, right, wrote private letters, right?
Uh,
At that time, right, the Patriarch of Constantinople asked him a question on how he's going to deal with the Monophysites, right? In that letter, in his response, right, he doesn't give a definitive answer against the fact that you can't teach those particular interpretations. And so that's a public external forum manifestation of his private opinion. So that would be considered as as a formal heresy at that point. He doesn't teach it in any binding way because there's no normative protocol, there's no council that he's ratifying. Papal infallibility, as is declared at Vatican I, hasn't been established. This is all pre-Vatican I, right? And
But then,
what happens is historically, is at the Third Council of Constantinople, Honorius is anathematized, and his teachings are condemned specifically. So they refer to his teachings and they say his teachings are condemned, including his actions. His successor then ratifies the council. So it's a clear-cut case. Like there's a lot of people in the Catholic Church, including there's Jesuit theologians in like the 1800s that tried to create arguments that Honorius was just a material heretic and he wasn't a formal heretic, because the consensus, the prevailing point of view was actually that he was a formal heretic. Bellarmine held to a particular opinion that he knew wasn't even popular at his time, which he writes in his notes.
Can you show a clear statement where he was deemed as a formal heretic?
Princess?
That's what you do all the time. So
Princess,
get a taste of your own medicine.
Okay. All right.
Can you
just calm down?
Can you show proof of him being a formal heretic in the council?
We're just gonna go to the canons.
No, go to the bro. I brought up the canons last time. You were like, they're not infallible. So if you want to bring up the canons, go to canon 1404 and stop judging the first see.
That's canon law. It's not infallible. We're talking about the Third Council of Constantinople.
So say council, not canon.
The canons within the council. The canons that happen as part of the council are infallible, Princess.
You have to show where he was deemed as a formal heretic, because he never was. He was deemed as a material heretic. We'll wait for a long time, because there is no proof of him being a formal heretic.
I'm trying to find the exact words because all I can find right now are references to what happened.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I need a copy of the actual council itself.
Take your time. It's okay. Maybe that will make you stop talking about how the Pope is a heretic.
Generally, don't you get excommunicated from the Catholic Church if you say that?
Yeah, and he thinks he's he thinks he's in communion with Rome because he thinks he thinks a pope can be a formal heretic and still be a valid, he can still, the chair of Peter is still valid, but that doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
Because it doesn't make any sense. The chair of Peter is fallen if the Pope is a heretic.
Yeah, that doesn't make it. It seems like internal division among the Catholics, like with the SSPX and the ones that are loyal to the Pope. That's why I don't think they're as united.
You mean like the schism of the East, right? Between the
No,
Roman, between
SSPX
the
SSPX is not
Russian
in
patriarch and
schism.
the Greek patriarch. Okay, amazing.
That's a
It's not the
that's
same
like a
thing.
Stop. You're just
that's a
coping.
myth.
Not.
That's
It's
a
not
myth.
the same
That's a myth.
thing.
You're coping. You confess.
What? But, I mean, I've talked to another Catholic friend about this too. He's SSPX, but the SSPX think that like Vatican II was like lesser than Vatican I, and then they're not formally in communion with Rome, but they still recognize the Pope, or some do, but some don't, and call him a heretic. And it's just very confusing.
Okay, I have a perfect document for this actually.
All I have is this from Britannica,
It must
right?
be
But
said that
I'm trying to actually find the canons within the Third Council of Constantinople. I mean, it's pretty clear. He wasn't. He wasn't just anathematized. He was condemned as well.
First
So I'm
he
trying to
getting
find the
judged?
actual.
Whoa.
Okay.
I actually have the answer right there with that document. This is perfect. You can check the chat. So it is the document. It's called Disputed Questions on Papal Infallibility by John P. Joy. Article 2. I remember reading that. Article 2.
There's not even canons.
Question, objection. He's literally quoting the Council of Trent, and he's quoting John Paul II. He's quoting what do you mean it's not canon? Do you
Okay,
not
here we
read
go. No.
theologians and scholars?
This is the actual. Okay, so this
Sorry,
pious and
guys.
orthodox
Is smarter.
creed. No. So this is the
smarter than every cast.
this is the Third Council of Constantinople. This pious and orthodox creed of the divine favor was enough for a complete knowledge of the orthodox faith and a complete assurance therewithin. But since from the first and the contriver of evil did not rest, finding an accomplice in the serpent, and through him bringing upon human nature the poison dart of death, so too now he has found instruments suited to his own purpose, namely Theodore, who was bishop of Ferran, Sergius, Pyrrhus, Paul, and Peter, who were bishops of this imperial city, and further Honorius, who was pope of Elder Rome, Cyrus, who held the see of Alexandria, and Macarius, who was recently bishop of Antioch, and his disciple Stephen. and has not been idle in raising through them obstacles of error against the full body of the church, sowing with novel speech among the Orthodox people the heresy of a single will and the single principle of action, the two natures of the one member of the Holy Trinity, Christ, our true God, a heresy in harmony with the evil of belief, or with the evil belief. Ruinous to the mind of the impious Apollinarius, Severus, and Themistius, and one intent on removing the perfection of the becoming man of the same one Lord Jesus Christ our God, through a certain guileful device, leading from there to the blasphemous conclusion that his rationally animate flesh is without will and a principle of action.
This is only proving material heresy.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
proving
This is
material
formal
heresy.
heresy.
Yes, it is.
Therefore,
this
Christ,
is not formal
no,
heresy in any
right.
way.
You listen, Princess. You can try to talk over it all you want. It is what it is. It's not just material heresy. Therefore,
It is
Christ our
material
God has
heresy.
stirred up the faithful emperor, the new David, finding in him a man after his own heart, who, as the scripture says, did not allow his eyes sleep or his eyelids drowsing until this holy assembly of ours, brought together by God, he found the perfect proclamation of right belief. For according to the God spoken saying, where there are two or three gathered in my name, here I am in their midst. I'm going to continue. I'm trying to find anything. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only place that he's actually mentioned.
This is not. You have to
so
show
it
where
ends.
this
So now that these points have been, so now that these points, this is the ending paragraph, Princess. So now that these points have been formulated by us with all precision in every aspect and with all care, we definitively state that it is not allowable for anyone to produce another faith. That is to write, or to compose, or to consider, or to teach others. Those who dare to compose another faith, or to support, or to teach, or to hand on another creed to those who do not wish to turn to the knowledge of the truth, whether from Hellenism or Judaism, or indeed from any other heresy whatsoever, or to introduce novelty of speech, that is, invention of terms, so as to overturn what has now been defined by us, such persons, if they are bishops or clerics, we are deprived of their episcopacy or clerical rank, and if they are monks or layfolk, they are excommunicated. It's clear as day. He was anathematized and condemned. No, that's the thing. You want to say that him writing the letter was nothing more than a material heresy. The council concludes with formulated points, right? Definitively state that it was formal heresy. It's as simple as that. No one argues with this anymore. That's the thing, Princess. You're wrong. Princess, you're coping. At this point, you're coping.
That Honorius
it's very, very clear what they mean. What they mean by formal heresy, because they definitively state what formal heresy includes, Princess.
The writings were not.
If you write, compose, or to consider, or to teach others anything that is a formal heresy, this is a formal heresy.
It's not
this is a production of another faith.
Formal heresy.
It's manifest heresy. What else do you think manifest heresy means? It means to produce another faith. Princess.
He's just giving examples of what you don't do. He's not saying that Honorius did this. This is the closing of what you shouldn't do.
This is amazing. Do. Princess, you're just amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Say it again.
That's all I have to say. It's pretty as clear as day. It's clear as day. Third Council of Constantinople.
It is not clear. Literally, no one thinks that
he's listed as among the formal heresies, and it ends by literally definitively. It definitively declares them and anathematizes them and condemns them.
Give me an authority on that, because I don't have to take your word.
Where do we have to? The authority is right in front of you, Princess.
This is your interpretation of it. My interpretation is that he's a material heretic, not a formal one. You have to give me the authority that claims he was a formal heretic.
Princess, then join the Eastern Orthodox. Because you're not a Catholic anymore. You're not a Catholic. Just go join the Eastern Orthodox.
I am more Catholic than you ever will be in your entire lifetime.
I am more
Catholic. Whoa,
I don't understand. I don't understand how you can read this any differently, unless you're trying to obfuscate the plain reading.
Dude, you
Listen,
are not gonna
Catholic
you're not just
theologians
gonna
have been trying to argue away that Honorius was a formal heretic.
look.
They've
I'm
been
sorry.
doing this for centuries, and they
Maybe
can't.
everyone here praises you and they let you just get away with what you say. But I'm a Catholic and I'm not gonna let you get away
Yeah,
with saying
thank you
that
for
Pope
supporting
Francis.
orthodoxy, Abismo. I really love that. I'm so glad that
Come
I
join
was able to
This
us.
is
get some
absolutely
orthodox
amazing.
representation here.
Come join us.
Yo,
Yes, come
Abismo,
join us.
I just watched the movie Conclave. What do you think about that?
It's all right. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, what do you think about that twist ending?
Nah. So like if you wanted to do like a good faith interpretation of like what exactly happens, like
Grudging, that meme is
could you
so
end
funny.
up right with a heterodox like pope because of the unfaithfulness, lack of faith, or the spiritual crisis of the members of the cardinal electorate? Yes, that's what happens. So what? That's happened in the past.
So the person was intersex because they were born with male and female parts. And they didn't even give you time to digest it. That was just like the mic drop at the end. Like, would you elect someone who like thought they were a boy the whole life, but they were actually kind of a girl? And then they contrasted that against all the men, saying the men are all petty little men. And the girl guy that got elected as Pope, well, he was the best because he was out in Africa and in Baghdad doing works. That's such an atheist, non-Christian way to look at Christianity. Oh, well, the one who was out there showed good works, so they should be the most holy person in the room. Well, I can tell you, it definitely wasn't the main character. That guy broke his priestly vow and was investigating people and getting it, breaking the sequester. He was as evil as everyone else.
All
But they
right,
didn't.
brother.
They didn't even give time to digest the ending. It should have been no, we're not. Just because the last pope said that he's okay to be a priest as a man woman doesn't mean it's right. Well, I don't know how the Catholic Church works, but I guess what they're saying is if that last pope just died and they're already saying he's a saint, then all his beliefs are probably good. So when he already prayed about it and thought about it and made the decision to keep the intersex person as a priest, then the hands are tied.
Are we talking about Hollywood here?
Yeah, we're talking about Hollywood.
We don't need Hollywood. We just need church history. We get just as good of stuff out of Roman Catholic history, dude.
Yeah, so Nick, an intersex pope, could it ever happen?
You never know what you're gonna get with the papacy now, man.
Is it fucked?
Nick,
I
Nick,
might
Nick,
not I might not use
Nickelodeon.
the same adjective, but I'm afraid it is.
Sorry, I'm
Abismo, will you forgive me for muting you? I did it
And
because you were over talking.
No,
you
yo,
know what?
I don't
We
mute
never
you
even
for over
got to the
talking.
forgeries.
You're forgiven, but not forgotten.
so this
We
current
never.
Forgiven but
pope.
not forgotten. That's fine. So yeah, I'm here to confess my sins.
We never even got to the forgeries.
Oh, we didn't get to the Samakian forgeries, which they're bound to. Oh, never mind.
Are you a Catholic, Nick? Roman Catholic?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Times?
Is your name Nick Abismo?
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell. Look at this bogan I got to share his potential namesake with, brother.
Yes, my namesake is Saint Nicholas.
It's New Year's Eve, and I'm just having
Yeah,
the most
well, you're
cursed.
going to have to convince me that the Bishop of Lycia was operating in some Vatican I mindset, brother, because that's what Vatican I claims. It was always present.
I'm just having the most cursed New Year's Eve ever because my friend on Discord wanted to watch a movie with me, so we watched Requiem for a Dream at his request. Yeah,
Come on, man.
if anyone's seen it, they know that's just horrendous. And I watched that to the end, and then I was like, no, let's watch a Christian movie. So we watched Conclave.
Yeah, you
And
need
that
to go
turned out,
watch that. Go watch that documentary about the Georgian monastics in the Caucasus Mountains.
what's that?
That's the most Christian movie you could watch, bro. It's called Devout.
So that's actually, that's not a cursed movie. That's actually going to
Well,
bless me.
it's a documentary. If you want an actual movie, I haven't seen it, but I think I know enough about it and people I trust who endorse